What's up, everyone? The first thing you're probably going to notice isn't even a bug fix or a feature. It's the way building feels right now. Resources suddenly feel heavier, like every wall and floor actually matters again. For a limited stretch of time, the cost of building pieces has been increased, and you can feel the intent behind it. You're no longer just spamming structures without thinking twice. You're stopping, checking your inventory, and deciding if that extra ramp or extension is really worth it. For some players, this feels like a step back, especially if you love big creative builds early on. For others, it adds tension and makes progression feel more earned. Either way, it changes the rhythm of the game in a big way, and even casual sessions feel a little more strategic because of it. Once you get past that adjustment, the quality of life fixes start to stand out, especially if you've been playing consistently. Server stability has improved, which is huge. Getting randomly kicked back to the lobby was one of those issues that didn't always happen, but when it did, it completely killed momentum. That problem being addressed alone makes longer play sessions feel smoother and less frustrating. Alongside that, connection errors that popped up for certain players seem to be largely resolved, which means fewer interruptions when you're just trying to explore or build in peace. One of the more annoying issues from before involved inventory control, especially in co-op. If you were player one and someone else started building, there were moments where your inventory just felt locked or unresponsive. That's now fixed, and it makes shared worlds feel cooperative again instead of awkwardly broken. Custom keybinds also got some attention, which is a relief for anyone who spent time fine-tuning their controls only to have them randomly stop working. Everything now responds the way you expect it to, which is how it should have been from the start. There were also smaller fixes that don't sound exciting on paper, but matter when you're actually playing. Things like invisible or transparent buttons, including the rename option, have been cleaned up so menus feel more reliable and less glitchy. These are the kinds of fixes you only really notice when they're gone, but they add up and make the whole experience feel more polished. For players spending time on the Ninjago island, this update is especially important. There was a quest-related issue that could completely block progress, resetting objectives, and trapping players in the monastery without a clear way forward. That's been fixed, which means progression should now flow properly without fear of losing progress or getting stuck in a loop. For anyone who ran into that problem before, this alone makes the update worth it. Brick Life players weren't ignored either. A missing NPC at the dispatch center has finally shown up, which clears confusion for anyone wondering if their game was broken. Visual issues like tall grass poking through house floors have been addressed, and if you've ever claimed a lot only to see decorations shift or stick around after unclaiming, those problems have been resolved too. It makes customizing and managing lots feel more dependable, especially if you like rearranging things often. On top of the official fixes, the community has already started noticing smaller changes that weren't clearly spelled out. Daily chests appear to be resetting on a slightly longer timer now, which subtly affects how you plan your sessions. Some players are also reporting improved behavior from foragers, particularly on certain islands, where they're actually producing items more consistently. There have even been sightings of new villagers around the monastery area, and characters that used to feel pointless are suddenly contributing resources after interacting with them. These aren't things the game directly explains, but you feel them as you play, and they quietly make the world feel more alive. All of this together makes the update feel less about adding something flashy and more about tightening the core experience. Building asks more from you, co-op works better, progression is safer, and the world behaves more like you expect it to. It's one of those updates where the changes don't scream at you, but after an hour or two, you realize the game feels different in your hands. And whether you love or hate the temporary building cost changes, there's no denying that this update pushes LEGO Fortnite toward a more intentional, stable, and grounded experience overall.